Hi guys, welcome to the ThinkSports podcast. My name is Rick. I'm joined with my friends Arjun and Rono today. And we want to introduce you to the project that we're currently working on, that is ThinkSports. So I'm joined by Arjun and Rono today. We're going to introduce ourselves to give you guys a better understanding of why we're doing this, why we're undergoing this project. So Arjun, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Arjun. Just to introduce myself, when I was young, I used to play tennis and football in particular. Sports has been a part of my life since before I can possibly remember. And um, the biggest thing about sport that is important to me is that it's helped me learn a lot of valuable lessons in life. Um, when I was in school, I used to play cricket and football for my school team. And I used to play tennis because my sister used to play tennis. I got into tennis because of that. And that was my primary passion, the primary sport I used to play. When I was in college, I was fortunate and honored enough to become the sports secretary of St. Xavier's College. I did my undergraduate degree there. And whilst I was the sports secretary, I undertook numerous projects and did a lot of tasks, which helped me realize that my passion, which is sports, could be my career as well. And thanks to the people who I surrounded myself with, my professor, who was the director of sports in St. Xavier's College, she backed me a lot and helped me a lot and helped me realize that it is possible to go down this path and make a career in this field. So I pursued that. My parents were very happy that I was pursuing something I loved, and they backed me, which I'm very thankful for. And I went to the University of Stirling in Scotland to do my master's in sports management. And it was an unbelievable experience, which culminated in more than I could have possibly imagined or dreamed. Whilst I was there in Scotland, I worked for an organization called Football Aid, which is an event management company that organizes football games all around the United Kingdom. So for a football enthusiast and a football lover to be organizing events at different football grounds is just an absolute dream come true. And that has just made me more enthusiastic and passionate about ensuring that I keep going on this particular field. And all I wanted to do through this is to try and help some people out. Ronald?
Yeah, hello guys. Unlike Arjun, I haven't been pursuing a career in sports, but I've always been in touch with sports. It's been a huge part of my life. Growing up, I think that's the only thing I devoted most of my time into. Of course, there was education, there were other things, but I ideally, like initially, it started off with cricket. I wanted it to be my career, but then I was playing for Videocon Cricket Academy, but a lot of things came up. The board exams was part of it. So you're in at a stage where you have to choose between education and sports, which line you want to go into. And I ended up choosing academics because coming from the sort of family background I'm in, education is a huge thing. You have to devote all your time to that. Unless you get a good degree, unless you have a particular focus in life in terms of education, you are kind of lagging behind everyone else, it seems. So that's kind of common to a lot of families in India, I think. So I was stuck in that sort of an environment. But what I realized is that even though you don't pursue a career in sports, you can always be in touch with it in other ways. This project that we're going to introduce eventually is my way of being in touch with sports, contributing to sports, helping other people trying to get into a career in sports. So just to give a bit of a background, I'm currently in France. I'm studying business. The following year, I'll be going to London to study finance. And what I realized after coming to Europe is that universities here give a lot of emphasis to sports. They really motivate you, they push you, they give you all the tools you need to pursue a career. There's a blended course. So if you want to study and play at the same time, you're given that opportunity, which I think is lacking at this stage in India in most universities, although it's coming up. The sports sector in India is growing right now. There are a lot of interesting avenues if you really want to pursue it. So even though at this point I've chosen a very different line in my career, I eventually, maybe at some point, I do see myself working in some sort of capacity and contributing to sports. So and in terms of what I used to play, I never played any sport at that higher level. I used to play cricket initially. I played CAB, which is the state federation, cricket federation in West Bengal. So I played CAB up till the age of 16, right before ICSE basically. And then transitioned into football, which is basically in terms of which particular sport I'm passionate about. Was the one for me, because I grew up playing football, although I didn't take it very seriously initially. But then gradually I started playing more tournaments, started playing for my college. Then even coming to France, I was playing for my university team here, which was a huge jump for me, because here the devil is very different. Because football in Europe, guys start playing at the age of 5, 6. They start enrolling in clubs and stuff. So it's like a different environment here. I also am really fond of racket sports, primarily badminton. So I was part of my university badminton team as well. And I ended up prioritizing that over football, again, because of academics, because you need to devote less time to badminton than to football. So that's it about me, and I'll pass it on to Rick. Rick, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, so for me, as growing up as a child, I think the one thing I've always been passionate about was sports. As Rono said, like there's a point in your life where you have to prioritize, like academics, coming from families that we come from. But I feel like for me, that prioritization never happened. I was always out in the field, played for as long as I could, um, throughout my school days, especially. And then I went to college in Pune, and I would represent my university in football and things like that. And that was the sport that I enjoyed the most, even though I think I was better at athletics. I was a sprinter. 100 and 200 meters was my forte, but I never enjoyed it as much as football, which is why I devoted all my time and my energy to football. Post college, though, I had a choice of whether or not I wanted to do sports management, or I wanted to kind of do an MBA and things like that. And I think a lot of factors led to me choosing to not do sports management. A lot of external factors, things like I couldn't guarantee like job security, things like that. A lot of those factors played into my decision. And so I worked in the corporate sphere for 2 years, and I'm just moving out and trying to transition. I'm trying to pursue my sports management degree in 2021, and then I'm gonna try to transition completely into sports-based careers, because I realized working for 2 years in a corporate sphere that I feel like sports is where I want to be, and I think that's the only place I'll enjoy myself um, indefinitely. So that's it about all three of us, and now we can kind of move into talking about ThinkSports, what it is as a project, what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to achieve. So anyone, if you want to take the ball on that.
I can start off by saying that all three of us were in a similar situation. The lockdown happened. We had a lot of time on our hands, and we didn't know what to do. All of us wanted to be productive, but that's easier said than done. So we started talking about what things we can devote our time to, and of course, one common passion that all three of us share is sports. And also what I realized was what we together realized was that if you want to pursue a career in sports, it's very difficult if you come from India, because there you don't have enough resources. So it gets difficult. It's complicated. You don't know where to go, who to talk to. So what conclusion we came to is together we would try to bridge that gap. So I'll let Arjun elaborate a little bit on what the project is. The project named ThinkSports is. So Arjun, you can continue.
It's key to just highlight certain points that have been mentioned and how a lot of people like us go through this process where we love a particular thing, say in our case it's sports, but for reasons we cannot continue pursuing it. And at the very onset, I would like to state that I think all three of us are very lucky that we have in some way or the other been given an opportunity to pursue this, at least in my case, most definitely, where I have been backed by my parents, have been given the freedom to try and explore this particular field, which is still in today's day and age isn't that certainty as a career, or isn't looked upon that favorably by people as a career opportunity, as an avenue. So when I was doing this and when I was in college, and the question that poses itself is, okay, what next? What am I going to do next? And when I pitched the idea to my parents that I wanted to do my master's in sports management, um, it was met with a bit of caution, but there was also a bit of enthusiasm that, okay, he's doing what he is passionate about. So I was, um, and the questions that immediately come up is, okay, what is this? Why do you want to do this? How are you going to go about this? And that's where collectively this idea of Think Sports comes, is the questions that presented themselves in front of me at that point before I was trying to go into doing my master's in sports management and trying to make my career in this field. This is a question that is going to be presented to everyone who wants to, say, either transition into this field or wants to go into it right at the very beginning. So Think Sports is an information hub that we wanted to create so that we give aspiring students and individuals information, so that when these particular questions present themselves to them, or they want to explain why they want to go into this a field, it's not just because I'm so passionate about sports. They can back their argument as to why they want to do it with the correct information and the correct knowledge, so that the people who they want to convince of doing this as a career are also at ease that we know what we're trying to do. And it isn't met with skepticism about, okay, you don't know what you're trying to do. So it's just simply to provide the information to help students along in this particular journey, and make a career for themselves in the field that they love and are passionate about.
So, boys, what are we going to talk about today? What's today about?
I think we've established that sport is our passion, and that is the one thing that connects all three of us. But we can talk about the fact that we love football, because all three of us love football, right, for different reasons. I think Rick and I have shown our colors. I think our allegiances are fairly clear for those who follow football. So I'm going to start off with Rollo first, and he's going to talk about football in general, how important football is to you, the significance of football in your life, and the club that you support. Why do you support them? How do you get into supporting them? You know, just get into that.
So football for me started like in 2005 or 2006. It was I remember I was sitting with my dad. We were watching a football game. It was Arsenal versus Liverpool. It was Super Sunday. 2 games on that day: Arsenal versus Liverpool, Man United versus Chelsea. Okay, so my allegiance could have gone anyway, you know. So it was like that day decided my. Actually, it was swayed because of my dad. He tricked me into supporting Arsenal. He said they're pretty good, and they looked pretty decent actually on the day. Thierry Henry scored 2 goals.
Well, to be fair, they were pretty good back in the day. They were pretty good.
Yeah. They were
also 2006. We went pretty far in life. We went to the Champions League final and stuff.
Yes. So, but since I started supporting, we haven't won the league or I mean, we've never won the Champions League, but we've never won the league since that. But it's a year before I started supporting, we won the league, right? When was the last time we won the league? Was it
Yeah.
2005
4
or
5.
4-5?
2003 4
4.
2003 4
3-4,
2003
correct.
4 Arsenal won
The
the league.
Invincibles.
Okay, but
Had we recorded this 12 months ago, I would have been in the same conversation about we've never won the league, right?
ah,
So I'm just so thankful that it's 12 months later. But yeah,
we had this
Actually,
idea
if
a
it was
year
like
ago.
even
Arjun
if it was
said,
like 6
wait.
months ago, yeah. No, even if it was 6 months ago, we didn't know if the league was going to end or not, or whether to just scrap it.
uh, that's true.
That's
That's
depressing.
true.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, that's it. I mean, as for my club allegiance, that's how it started. I started supporting Arsenal, but my passion for football started when I went to the UK for the first time in 2000. Like I was following football definitely, but I think it really picked up in 2013 or 14. I don't remember. I think it was 2013. I went to UK for the first time. I watched a football game at the Etihad, and that was the basically it was a celebration match for Man City because they won the FA Cup the previous week. So they had the trophy and they were playing against the same team they beat in the FA Cup, Stoke City again. So and they scored 3 goals. I went with my granddad. So it was like it's a really fond memory for me. And ever since that time, I really got engrossed in the game. I was already playing the sport. I was already following Arsenal, but ever since that, I just got attached with the sport since that day. So that's it. And my dad has been following Arsenal, so I always watch games. I've always been watching games since that time. So that's how it started for me, basically.
Yeah, Rick.
What about you, Arjun? You look like you're in high spirits about
Oh
this
yes,
entire
I
situation.
am
Let's
high
This
talk about
spirits.
conversation would have
talk
been
about you.
very different a
It would have
year or
been very
two
Yeah.
ago.
now, but now I love the way it is right now. At least the last 12 months have been spectacular. I think we would have had a very different conversation if this was about 12 months ago. But yes, I love Liverpool Football Club. I've been following them for 15 years now. How this wonderful journey started? Well, it started on a night that most Liverpool fans will remember very, very fondly and remember for the rest of their lives, even if they didn't watch the game live at that point. It was that crazy night at Istanbul in 2005. It was my mum that was watching the game. My mum's not a big football fan, but she supports Chelsea and was watching the Champions League final because there's an English club in it. And then I thought, this team in red seems pretty good. I mean, I was watching the first half and they were getting completely destroyed. And I watched the second half and I thought, yeah, this team in red with a wonderful comeback, and you could hear it through the television where the supporters were still chanting whilst they were losing. And it seemed incredible. And I didn't grasp at that point the significance of the comeback because I wasn't into football as
Yeah.
much. But the fact that it did come back and the euphoric scenes right after that, it made me fall in love with this team in red. Now, we know there are a few teams in red in the Premier League. So, like for all of us, the allegiance could have gone either way. And now I can say, after supporting this team 15 years, thank God it didn't go another way. Right. But yeah, from the following season, I started following them. Again, 2006, we had the Steven Gerrard FA Cup final, right? And that just made my love go, grow a lot more. And for the first 14 years of supporting them, they weren't very successful, but they were the team that was trying to, as it's now come to be known, knock Man United off their perch because they won league after league after league. They were the dominant team and we were the underdogs trying to topple them off. And that is an idea that sat very well with me because if and when we would eventually do it, it would be an unbelievable feeling. So the fact that it took me so long, right through my school days, right through my college days, and it set me up for a lot of banter and a lot of scrutiny for the club that I support. And we did see a lot of dark days. I mean, Roy Hodgson, my God.
But
I mean,
at
I
the end,
still
it
get
all seems
nightmares
worth
thinking
it, right?
about
When
him.
you finally achieve,
But
even
finally,
after.
when he Steve, arguably, in my opinion, one of the greatest managers ever, Jurgen Klopp, lift that trophy, and when he smiles, for you as a fan after 14 years of torture and torment, it is extremely satisfying to have that feeling. And not just that, coming to 12 months before that, in the wonderful night in Madrid, which is one of the fondest moments in my life, because at that time I was still in Scotland doing my master's at the University of Stirling. A friend and I went down to the 12th Man pub, which is in Liverpool, right, to watch the game, because obviously we didn't get tickets and it's too expensive to go to Madrid. And we were there at that pub, and when a legend of the club, Divock Origi, scored our second goal, I was drenched in beer. And for those of you who know me, I don't drink that much. So for me to be drenched in alcohol is something very, very unusual. But it was a memory that will stay with me forever. It was incredible, that experience. And yes, Liverpool Football Club is what I live and breathe by. It's just my life.
Bro, Rona, while he's talking about winning trophies, how's the FA Cup feel? FA Cup feeling?
Yeah, I think it's a
Record
stellar
holders.
competition.
FA,
We haven't won
yeah.
an FA Cup in about 13 or 14 years, so almost forgotten what that feels like.
Take ours, and just give us the Premier League. I'll
No,
take it.
I think I'll settle for the Premier League and the Champions League.
Yeah.
I'll be content. I'm satisfied.
Would you give them all 14 for one Premier League?
No, I think that's
that's a
pushing
bit
it.
harsh. I think
That's
that's a
a
bit
bit
harsh.
No, because we've won the Premier League. It's fine. Like we've won 3, so it's okay. I wouldn't give away 14 FA Cups.
Yeah. That's a bit much.
Yeah.
But what's your fondest memory as
For
an
the
Arsenal
Champions
fan?
League, I
Rick,
think about it.
your fondest memory as an Arsenal fan?
So I have a couple. So I think one of my fondest memories that I remember the moment, I remember the commentary, I remember everything, and everything was perfectly set up, right? It was when Henry came back, right?
Yeah.
He came back to Arsenal, and then we were playing an FA Cup game against Leeds, right? And I don't remember what minute it was, but Henry came on towards the end of the game. I think the 80th minute or something, Henry came on. I think it was for Theo Walcott that Henry came on, right? And he comes on, and within a couple of minutes, he makes the most Henry-esque run, gets the ball. I think it was Alex Song,
yeah.
who passed it to him. And he makes like this Henry-esque run, opens up his body, you know exactly where he's going, and just tucks the
Bottom
ball
right
in
corner.
comfortably into the bottom right corner, right? And then he runs across the stadium. And I think that game was the first time a player had ever played in a stadium in which they had a statue of that, right? So he became the first player ever to do that. And I don't think anyone has done that since. But so he does that, right? And he starts running across, and he's doing his iconic celebration. And so he's running across, and the commentator goes, he may be cast in bronze, but he's still capable of producing truly golden moments, right? And that bit of commentary will always stay with me, right? And then he runs across, and he goes and gives Wenger a hug. And I think that moment is, as any Arsenal fan, right? Seeing Henry in like all his glory come back, win that game, last minute score, unbelievable. I think that was like one of the highlights of my life.
Especially because
I know the Hull City.
For us, Henry has been a legend. We haven't watched him play in our time, right? Like he hasn't been. Yeah. So it was
like you hear about his glory.
Yeah.
Was that Peter Drury, the commentator, Rick?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
No idea.
Yeah,
but that was one of my favorite moments. I think the Hull City comeback was great, but as far as emotions go, I think just seeing that moment and like hearing what the commentator had to say, I think I've never felt that exhilarated. I think that was one of my.
And I'm
moments.
sure there are many, but the one that comes to mind for you that is the worst moment as an Arsenal fan? This is gonna be good.
There are a few. No, there are a few. So I'm not going into the United game because I didn't watch that live, right? But the Chelsea game I watched with 4 Chelsea fans, right?
Are you talking about the one where Chamberlain got sent off? I mean,
Chamberlain got a red card. Yeah.
No. Is it the other way?
No, Chamberlain's hand. Yeah, Chamberlain went and dived and saved the ball, and then Gibbs got sent off. I think that was his first red card of his career, was because Oxlade-Chamberlain handled the ball. And I think I watched that with 4 Chelsea fans, and that was the worst. Like that was the worst experience of my life. I've never felt that bad or that small, or I just had nothing to say. Like I was speechless.
Where does Baku rate?
No, I think 6-1 was a lot worse. I think Baku, I was very isolated. It was something that I could experience myself. I could be like, you know what? It's a transitionary period. It's Unai Emery, whatever. There were more excuses then. But that 6-1, I had nothing to say.
6-0.
Rick, one of the good memories.
6-1, right?
6-0.
What are you talking about?
6-0.
Bro, one of the good memories we have is, remember Darjeeling when we were together and we watched Arsenal versus Liverpool.
Liverpool.
That's a good memory. I think some of these things are enhanced when you're with friends and you can laugh at others. Or if someone's laughing at you, that's the worst.
It's the worst.
So your worst moment might not be the club's worst moment,
Yeah.
So
definitely, of course.
Because that United game has to be the one. Right?
Yeah, if you talk about it from a club's point of view, the United game was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Also, the game against Portsmouth,
by the way,
bro, where we should have ended our 10-year trophy drought, that was really bad. That was horrible. Yeah. The final against Portsmouth in the Carling Cup.
League Cup.
Birmingham City. Yeah.
Was it Birmingham? Birmingham. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Although I am happy, and I think I expressed this to Arjun the other day, I'm so happy that as much as I love Messi and I want Messi to do phenomenal things in life, I'm ridiculously happy there is another team that will get bantered for 8-2. That is the most, I think that's the most embarrassing 8-2 now in history. We can get past it. I think it's a cathartic moment. So that was great.
That's good. That's good that Rick mentions Leo Messi. That brings me to the next very interesting question. For you guys, your favorite player from Arsenal that you've watched, and one player that's not a part of Arsenal, but you love them. And you watch them, of course, whether it be live or whether it be on television. So I'm gonna take that first.
So in terms of not Arsenal player, it might be cliche, but I just love Messi. Watching him is just, I think it just reminds you all the things you love about football. So definitely Messi. And
you've watched him live, right? All of us have, right?
I have watched. Yeah, I think. Were you guys there in Salt Lake Stadium?
No, I didn't watch him.
Yeah.
I watched him at the Nou Camp.
I watched him.
Oh, okay, man.
Oh, okay.
No, we watched. Okay.
We watched him at Salt Lake Stadium.
Yeah. No, but I've watched Ronaldo play live, although it wasn't his best game. But I was like, you want to watch these guys before they retire, because like once in a lifetime talent these guys are. So whatever. It's not that. So if you talk about like best player out of Arsenal, it's Messi, but I also respect the hell out of Ronaldo. I think he's a fantastic player. Yeah. I don't think it's fair to say one guy is better than the other. They're so different. So and Arsenal,
and they will always be a level above the rest in like the GOAT discussion. It's Messi, Ronaldo, in my opinion. But it'll always be Messi and Ronaldo, and then the rest. I think that's how. But you were saying, favorite
and
Arsenal
best player. Arsenal player. The problem with this question is like you have a lot of players you liked, and then they left the club, so you don't like. Although you have fond memories of them, but it kind of soured at the end. There are a lot of players. I mean, I loved watching Fabregas play. I loved watching Van Persie play. Van Persie was, I think, if you think about before Aubameyang, probably Aubameyang takes the cake right now because he's a current player, so that bias is there. But Robin Van Persie was, after Henry, the greatest goal scorer for us, for sure. Two years back to back, he got Golden Boot. And he wasn't even in the race for the title. I mean, he wasn't part of the best club, but he still got Golden Boot. And Aubameyang has replicated that feat. So I don't know. It's a hard question, dude. Because of the bias, you kind of go with Aubameyang right now because he's there at your club. But if the question is who you enjoyed watching, not your favorite player. I wouldn't say Robin Van Persie is my favorite player. You're not an Arsenal fan if you say Robin Van Persie is your favorite player. But who you've enjoyed watching, I would say Robin van Persie. I love watching him play.
That's fair.
I think throughout, I go a different way where I think throughout the player that, as much as I thought like Alexis Sanchez was phenomenal for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Robin van Persie, same. Aubameyang, unbelievable. Cesc Fabregas, I don't think Cesc, like I think Cesc I think he left respectfully, all of that. I respect the hell out of Cesc. And he also wanted to come back, so I don't hold going to Chelsea against him. But the one player that I always enjoyed watching and who seemed so effortless on the ball was Thomas Rosicky. That goal that he scored against Spurs, just how he moved. I feel like if we go back to like best goals Arsenal has scored, Thomas Rosicky's in like 10 best goals. I think Thomas Rosicky's in like
2 or 3. 5. Okay.
Yeah, like I just think he made everything happen. Like,
but so like unlucky with injuries, man. He could have been a legend for sure.
That's quite underrated. Quite underrated and unusual player, Thomas Rosicky. I mean, he obviously, like you guys said, with injury, he didn't get the chance that he would have done. So I think another very interesting player, at least being from like supporting another club. I thought Santi Cazorla is another player.
Yeah, I was gonna say Santi.
The game against City, man.
Oh my god.
Right, as a neutral, Santi Cazorla was so nice to watch, and he'd never ever go down as an Arsenal legend per se. But just as a neutral, when you watch a player like that, it's just magic. He has that X factor, and it's so good to watch. I think we agree that
it's. I think one of the Go for it.
I think we agree that Lionel Messi is one of our favorites for the player who is not part of our.
How about not Messi or Ronaldo? Where do you go then?
That makes it interesting. Okay, if you are not Messi or Ronaldo and still currently playing, or still currently playing and not Messi and Ronaldo. Okay, I have an answer immediately because I love watching Kylian Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain. I think he's incredible. He's so young, and I believe he also has that X factor in him. I know a lot of people are going to go Neymar route because he's the flashy, fancy Brazilian that can change the game on his own. But I believe as can Mbappe, and
I think
there's a lot of extra with Neymar which isn't there. It's no mass, no fuss with Mbappe. I feel as now. So
far.
For me, Kylian takes that.
Same for me. I would go Kylian.
I would back your Kylian, but I don't watch him enough. I think the player I consistently watch, and it pains me to say how much I enjoy watching him play because he plays for a club that I just disapprove of. But watching Kevin De Bruyne play week in and week out, I'm just like, that guy is on another level. Like
Kevin De Bruyne is a really good shout.
I can't think. I think Kylian Mbappe is insane. I think Neymar is unbelievable, but I don't watch them play that regularly. I'll watch them on like the occasional Champions League game or if they're playing a big game in their league. But it's super rare. But I watch Kevin De Bruyne play almost every week, and he performs like it looks like he can change a game whenever he wants to. Whatever he wants to do, he does. It's unbelievable how consistently great that player is.
For me personally, my favorite player, I have two. It's very difficult for me to pick one. As a Liverpool fan, I think if I don't mention Steven Gerrard, it's a crime because I watched him at his prime, and he played in a team which used to consistently underperform. So he used to drag that team on his shoulders, and he was just an exceptional football player. And personally in life, when I play football, I am a goalkeeper, so I'm biased in that regard. And the current Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, is just amazing. He's been one of my favorite players. I used to tell Rick before he signed for Liverpool about how good a goalkeeper he was and how we should try and get him in. Considering the benchmark of Liverpool goalkeepers in the past was, oh my God, we have an individual who can catch a ball, which is just how high it had to be in terms of becoming a goalkeeping legend. But no, generally, Alisson Becker, for the way we play, the style that Klopp wants to implement, and just in general, is such a calm, composed figure that I will already in just over 2 years, I'll put him that high above players that I should mention, Fernando Torres, Luis Suarez, they'll go down as great players. But for me personally, Virgil van Dijk, of course, let's not forget Virgil van Dijk, revolutionized that club.
Jordan Henderson.
For me personally, Alisson Becker is right up there as my favorite.
Just ignore the Jordan Henderson comment, by the way.
This opens up a can of worms I don't particularly want to enter. Jordan Henderson will always divide opinion.
That's a topic for another day.
But he's club captain. Gotta respect the guy. He's very important for us. So it's interesting now that I am sandwiched between two Arsenal fans, and I'm the only Liverpool fan. I'm used to this because most places I go, I'm always outnumbered, whether it be Man United, whether it be Chelsea, now in this case Arsenal. So I'm going to put these two Arsenal fans to the test. Okay, I've got a quiz for you guys.
Really not looking forward to this.
Because I love hosting quizzes in general, the trivias. And two of you such ardent, passionate Arsenal fans. It's going to be interesting to see how you fare in this quiz to determine who actually supports and loves the club more.
To build our credibility.
So, are you guys ready with
this? This is going to end badly. This is going to end so badly.
Right.
Also, for everyone listening, just FYI, Arjun sets the most difficult quizzes ever. So if we get all of these wrong, it's Arjun's fault, not us. We are true Arsenal fans.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. It depends on how well you go about answering these questions. So what I'm going to do is, each of you need to get a piece of paper and a pen so that you guys can write down the answers to the questions that I'm going to ask you.
On my phone.
Okay? You can use your phone, you can use your thing. I'm going to ask you 12 questions, right? I'm going to give you time to think about each one of them. And then at the end of the quiz, I'm going to ask you to give your answers.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's going to be quite interesting with some of the answers that come my way. So, ready when you guys are?
Ready.
Yeah,
ready?
I got my phone.
I'm gonna start off really, really easy.
1 second. Are these questions MCQs?
No. One answer.
Open-ended.
I'll ask you a question, simple answer. If you would like options, you can ask for them. I'll make up options for you for some of those questions.
Okay.
Depends on the question.
Depends on the question. All right. I'm going to give you a simple starting question. Who is the current Arsenal club captain?
So how does this work? Anyone can answer, or you pose it to a particular person?
No, I want both of you to write down, and say the answer of who you think the current Arsenal club captain is. And just to let you know, it's not Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
Just to give you a hint. Just to give you a hint.
We all know how that went down.
Yeah.
Okay,
done.
Wait, I'll just number these.
So just write down your answers. And we'll come back to them. We'll come back to them at the end. Right?
Okay. So, when you say current, you mean right now, right? Not like the season before the season.
Right now. Right now. This particular.
Because we've had a few.
Yeah. Arsenal like their rotating captains and so on and so forth.
Not so long ago, we had 5 captain policy.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? 5? I think it was 4.
That's the Emery way, bro.
Against Unai Emery.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was Victor Bellerin, Mesut Ozil, Alexander Lacazette. I think they were all there.
Everyone's a leader, bro. Everyone's a leader.
Okay. Question number 2, right? In the 2006 UEFA Champions League final, Arsenal played Barcelona, which is considered one of the greatest European nights for Arsenal Football Club. Who scored Arsenal's goal that night? Just to give you context, Barcelona won the game 2-1.
Thanks for that.
Samuel Eto'o scored for Barcelona. But I want to know...
Pretty sure I'm wrong about this.
Who scored Arsenal's goal that night?
I'm not even sure whether this guy was there at the club at the time, but I've just gone for gut feeling.
I have no idea.
Gut feeling. Okay.
Gut feeling?
Because I'm guessing it's not the obvious one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even I don't think it's the obvious one.
And I don't know whether Arjun's
Okay,
playing
wait,
a
I'm
bluff
just gonna
right now.
write.
Yeah, it could be a double bluff. It could be a double bluff. It could be a very, very obvious answer.
I
Yes,
No,
take it.
you can't have so much time to think, I think. It's,
no. I'm done, bro. I've written down my
Okay.
answer.
I'm going to go on to the third question then. And I think I've asked this question quite a few times, but listen to this carefully. Who was the first player to score at the Emirates Stadium? I'm going to repeat the question.
I don't remember the name of the guy.
Who was the first player to score at the Emirates Stadium? The answer will surprise a few people.
So I know I'm wrong, but I'm gonna stick with my answer because it is an Arsenal answer.
Yes, that's the determination we love.
And I know the guy. And there's no way. Yeah, I know it's wrong. But
Bentner.
Okay. Number 4.
almost.
Which Arsenal player scored the last goal at Highbury Stadium? So Arsenal transitioned or shifted from Highbury to the Emirates.
Can you give us a hint? Like what? Who were the teams playing?
It was a Premier League game. Arsenal played Wigan Athletic. This individual scored a hat-trick on the day. Right? It was the last game of the season.
Oh shit!
Hat-trick.
Oh, I was going with a. Okay, wait. That changes my answer.
Which Arsenal player scored the last goal at Highbury Stadium?
Not many people score hat-tricks, right?
Yeah, that's what. I was gonna say someone else, but I'm gonna say
that's what because of this. Yeah, this fact it changes my answer.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, completely.
Question number 5.
And I feel like there was no one else.
How many questions do you have, Arjun?
I have 12 in total for you guys. We're up to number 5, okay?
While we're doing this, if there are any Arsenal fans watching, we'd like to know what you guys thought as well. So put your answers in the comments.
How many you got right in this? It's fairly standardized quiz, but we'll see based on how many you guys get right. Who were the opponents for Arsene Wenger's first Premier League match?
Who were the opponents? Okay.
Who were the opponents for Arsene Wenger's first Premier League game?
I have no idea. Honestly.
Come on, boys. Arsene Wenger.
I've written something down. I know it was
I'll give you guys a hint. Okay. I'll give you guys a hint because this was a long time ago. Although you should know it's Wenger and you guys love him. Most do, at least the end was a bit toxic.
By the way.
True. We all were, yes. That club went on to have owners which is very close to home.
Okay.
That's all.
That narrows it down quite a bit.
That's all I'm going to say.
That doesn't narrow shit down for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to stick with my answer.
Okay, perfect.
We'll see.
Question number 6. Right? Arsenal made an incredible comeback against Hull City in the FA Cup final in the year 2014. What I want to know is the player who scored the winning goal. Who scored the winning goal for Arsenal to win the FA Cup that year?
Rick's favorite player.
Both of you should get this one.
Yeah.
Well, then question number 7. Same year, same game, same tournament. Who's the captain for Arsenal on that day?
Okay.
Remember the framing of the question.
Yeah.
Who was the captain for Arsenal on that day? Okay.
I think.
Question number 8. Are you ready? Rick, have you finished?
Yeah. 7 was who's my captain. Yeah.
Question number 8. We all know Arsenal went
who started as my captain, right? Who started as my captain?
as captain
Yeah.
on that day? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We all know Arsenal went invincible for an entire season. They had a 49-game unbeaten streak. But which club ended that streak?
Okay.
Which club ended Arsenal's
I
49
hate to
game
answer this
unbeaten
question
streak?
actually.
I think I'm go with it.
Yeah. It really frustrates me.
Good. It tells me you guys have got this one.
Right on.
Okay, question number 9. Arsenal won the league in the year 2001-2. They won that Premier League season. Who was Arsenal's club captain that year? Who was the captain of Arsenal Football Club when they won the league in the year 2001-2?
I think I've got that.
Cool. Question number 10.
I think it's this guy.
Question number 10.
Yeah, same.
Thierry Henry has won how many Premier League Golden Boots?
This is going to be a guess.
Oh.
It'll be interesting. It gives you a hint because
I think
Ron
we're
was
going to try to
talking
make
about
an educated
Van
guess.
Persie and the number of Golden Boots that he's got. He
Yeah.
isn't the highest. So how many Premier League Golden Boots has Thierry Henry won? I just want a number. Okay. Question number 11. This is going to be interesting. Every Arsenal fan I speak to talks about Thierry Henry as a club legend, right? Unbelievable player. Can you tell me what is Thierry Henry's middle name?
Holy shit.
This man that you is so renowned and you love him for the great player that he was, and we go back to Rick talking about
I'm going to go with the
story of
most
when he came
cliche.
back at Leeds United and such an emotional moment and watching Thierry Henry, this icon. What is the man's middle name?
I'm going to go with the most
So
cliche
I have a
French
problem
name
with this
ever.
question. Just tell me how to... Yeah, so my problem is what I say, if it's just a normal French name, is it racist? If I just give like the most French name I can think of.
If that's how you've got to the answer, maybe. But if you just say a name that
I mean,
you think
I'm just going for it.
I mean, this is your club legend. This is the man you all love. He's got a statue out there. So
But that's the only basis we have for guessing his name, that he's French. So
Yeah.
And the last question, this is going to be a tough one. You'll be guessing, I'm guessing for this one as well. So Liverpool and Man City have set the record for 18 consecutive wins. That's the record in the Premier League, most number of consecutive wins. Liverpool and City have 18. What is Arsenal's record for most number of consecutive Premier League games won? I will give you a hint. It is less than 18 and it is double digits.
thanks for that, Arjun.
No, I think I'm guessing that.
Like
Yeah,
does
so
narrow it down significantly.
let's
Okay.
move on to the answers.
Right. So the first question.
What about, why don't you tell us which year we got that?
Which year you got that? 2001-2 when you won the league.
You know what? Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Did that narrow it
brief
down?
me
I
out.
don't think you did. Anyway. So coming back to the original one.
Cool. So let's get to answers.
Number one, the first question was, who is the current Arsenal club captain?
So okay, just say a name. Then
Any one of you, go for it.
Aubameyang.
I went with Aubameyang.
There we go. Okay. So that's the correct answer. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is current Arsenal captain. Okay. I'm going to throw this question to Rick. The second one, Champions League final against Football Club Barcelona. Who was the Arsenal scorer? Let's go, Rick.
Okay. So I have two names written down.
That's
not
allowed. That can't be
The
allowed.
first name you say will be taken.
Okay. So okay, let me tell you my reasoning. I think it was a defender. Okay. So the two names I have written down are Sol Campbell and Kolo Toure.
Both are wrong.
Right?
I think.
I'm not sure about Kolo. I think it's Sol.
Can I give my guess?
I'm gonna have to
Yes.
push you for one answer. I mean, out of these two.
I'd say Sol Campbell because I'm not sure whether Kolo played that game.
Sol Campbell. Interesting. Ronald?
Leb.
Alexander Leb. Well, I am going to put both of you out of your misery.
Oh,
The
damn.
answer is indeed Sol Campbell.
Oh, damn. Nice. Nice.
Thierry Henry
Unbelievable.
assist, bullet
Unbelievable.
header, Sol Campbell on the day. Well done, Rick. So as
Good
it
one.
Was
stands
Kolo
right
playing
now,
for reference? Do you know? I have
Sorry?
no idea. I don't remember.
yeah, Kolo
Do you
Toure
know
was
if
there.
Kolo was playing?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, Kolo Toure was there. Yeah.
Okay. So I had a decent idea, even though I guessed.
Right. So just to reiterate the score right now, it's Rick 2, Ronald 1. Okay. Now, question number 3. Who was the first player to score at the Emirates Stadium? I'm going to love the reasoning for this one. So I'm going to give this to Ronald first. Ronald?
I don't
Let's
remember
hear
the
your answer.
name. I've just written Aston Villa guy.
Well, there are no half points. There are no half points, but you did get the team correct. I will give you that. Rick, can you go one better?
So yeah, so I know. No. So I know it's an Aston Villa guy, but because I'm such an avid Arsenal fan, I've also written down Gilberto Silva because he scored for Arsenal. So
Okay.
you know what? I'm going Gilberto Silva. He scored for Arsenal, so
Good one.
he's the first Arsenal player to score at.
You
at the
didn't
Emirates.
answer the question because I said who was the first player. Although Gilberto Silva is
But
correct.
was he not the first
He was the
Arsenal player?
first. He was the first Arsenal player, but you didn't answer the question, so I can't give you any points.
It's fine.
The answer to that question is
fine.
Olaf
I'll take it.
Melberg. Olaf Melberg, the
Who's an
centre
Aston
back for
Villa
Aston
guy?
Villa. The centre back for Aston Villa was the first man to score at the Emirates Stadium. Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to give you half a point, Ronald.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to give you half a
I
point.
deserve that, I think.
I knew it was an Aston Villa guy.
But your answer was Gilberto. Your answer was
perfect.
Gilberto.
That's
I'm
because,
gonna give
okay,
Ronald half a
fine.
point.
If you want to win based on the fact that I am a better Arsenal fan, sure. I did that.
Question number 4. Which Arsenal player scored their last goal at Highbury Stadium? I'm going to give this to Rick.
Henry.
Rick, let's hear your answer
I
first.
went Henri.
Henri.
I
Just
went Henri.
Interesting. Okay.
based on the fact that you said it's a hat trick.
And
You
Ronald,
said
who was
hat trick.
your?
I
Henri
thought
as
it was
well.
Vieira.
Henri as well.
Okay.
I
Well, the
was
answer to
going
that question-
Vieira until you said he scored a hat trick.
Yeah, the answer to that question is indeed Thierry Henry scored a hat trick on that day to give Arsenal a 4-2 win against Wigan Athletic. Very good, very good. So far, so good.
Sounds fairly. Wait, what's the score? What's the score? Is it 3, 2
At
and
the
a half?
moment, Rick has
That's
3.
Wow.
Rick has 3, and Rick has got 2.5.
Yeah,
Okay,
give me
question
Ronaldo.
number 5. Who was Arsene Wenger's first Premier League game against? I'm going to give Rick the first go on this.
So I guessed Norwich City.
Okay. That's a pretty interesting guess, Norwich. All right. Is there
My
any
guess.
reasoning for that, Rick? Is there any reasoning for that, or was just
No. I think my reasoning was I think it was a club that was in and out of the Premier League, and Norwich City was the first name that came to my head.
okay, Ronald? Let's hear it.
Blackburn.
Now, if Rick had actually paid attention to my clue, he would have probably followed what Ronald did. And the answer to that question is indeed Blackburn Rovers. Arsenal won that game 2-0
shit.
in their first one. And I think the clue was pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's it. Narrowed it
Also,
down.
I'm sorry, when I think of Blackburn Rovers, I think of them being owned by Venkies. So.
Yeah, that's what he said.
The clue was designed about. When I said that they
Did you
are
say
owned
English
by a
owners?
club which is very close to home.
Close to home.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about their home. That's messed up. That's. I didn't.
Pay attention,
That's
Rick.
something.
Pay attention.
That's why I was like, that doesn't
That's
narrow it
terrible.
down at all.
Oh, I honestly was just like that. Actually, this doesn't narrow it down. Oh, okay.
Question number 6. Who scored the winner in the FA Cup? Let's have it.
Ramsey.
Rick?
I've got Ramsey.
There you go. Aaron Ramsey, that's correct.
Simple enough.
Question number 7. Who was, and this is interesting, who was the captain of Arsenal on that day? I'm going to give it to Ray. I'm going to take it to Ronald first. Ronald, let's have it.
I think so. As far as I remember, there was one, the club captain didn't play on the day. So I think it's Arteta. Club captain was Vermaelen at the time. I don't know whether I'm horribly wrong about
I also went with our current manager, Mikel Arteta. To be captain of the day.
Well, it's interesting. So, just to put you guys out of your misery, Mikel Arteta is the correct answer. Although club captain on that at that time was for Mertesacker and not
Mertesacker, not Vermaelen. Okay.
No. But anyway, Mikel Arteta is the answer. Both of you are correct in that regard. Now, the club that I think all three of us hate, but which was the club that ended the 49-game streak? Let's have it. Any one of you?
This, I think, is super easy.
I don't want to answer this question. Let's just move on. Let's not take a point for this, Rick.
Manchester United is...
We should take a point for this question.
I'll back that.
We refuse to answer.
I'll back that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Question number 9.
I'll back that.
Club captain when you guys won the league in 2001-2.
Who takes this?
Who was it? I'm going to ask Rick first.
I have Tony Adams.
Same. Ooh. Tony Adams for me as well.
Well, both of you are correct. Tony Adams was the club captain, and it was his last season. He decided to retire after he won the league that year. And then Patrick Vieira became captain after that. But yes, Tony Adams won the league in 2001-2002. Now, for your golden boy, Thierry Henry.
I feel like Ronald's stealing my answers.
How many golden boots does Thierry Henry have? How many golden boots does Thierry Henry have, Ronald?
I've gone with 4. I think that's...
I also have 4.
Both of you have 4 golden boots.
I just have a strong feeling it's 3. But I'm going to stick with 4.
You'll stick with 4.
I think all the 3 Premier Leagues that he won and one more. So I went with 4.
Well, both of you are correct again. Thierry Henry has 4 Premier League golden boots. You're doing surprisingly well in this quiz. I don't know whether
not bad, Ronald. Not bad.
But yeah, you've got this one correct as
well. Don't have time to Google the answers.
The fascinating question, which I'm sure a lot of people who'll be watching this video might be stumped by it. What is Thierry Henry's middle name? I'm going to ask Rono first. This is going to be funny because given Rono is in France and he has a particular appreciation of the French language, I am going to enjoy this.
Thierry Thomas Henry.
Thomas is pretty interesting. Thomas Henry, TTH.
Mine is definitely worse. I've gone for Thierry Jacques Henry.
As French as it could possibly be.
I was stuck between this one, Thomas, and Pierre. But we have a Pierre in the club.
Oh, Pierre.
Yeah. Pierre is
Alex.
You have a Pierre at the club. So you cannot have another Pierre.
No, because I'll tell you why. Because people would have drawn this comparison if their name was the same.
Exactly. That's why I didn't go with Alex. That's why I didn't go with Alex on.
That was my thinking. Yeah. So I was like, Thomas.
Yeah.
So just to put the two of you out of your misery, it's not surprising. Both of you are wrong. His middle name is Daniel.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit. There's no way.
But wasn't remotely French at all in that regard. I knew you would just go in that direction. And just to round up, the last question for you guys. Most consecutive wins in the Premier League.
I need to get this right?
To win, yes.
I have to get this right, otherwise I lose.
Yeah.
I need a number from you. And whoever is the closest will get an additional, if both of you are wrong. I'm going to give this thing. So, let's hear it.
I'll go first because I think I need a point to win, right?
Rick, you're up first.
Dude, you know something. If you're first, I can just copy your answer and win.
Yeah, hopefully you wouldn't do that.
Okay, I tell you what, that's a very interesting point. Let Rona go first.
But I heard his answer already. I know his answer. Okay, I'm gonna go for 13.
Yeah.
Okay, Rick?
I said 14.
Rick said 14. That's absolutely incredible. So the answer is, and this is what the quiz comes down to, nail biting, both Arsenal fans love the club. The answer is 14. Arsenal have 14 consecutive wins, and that is their club record.
What a beautiful performance. Sorry. That's
So,
unbelievable. Although I will say that was the biggest guess after Jacques. It was just, I mean, I had no
Jacques
idea.
is on a different level. You can't compare these two.
Yeah.
Thierry Jacques Henry.
I mean, I had no idea, so it was worth going for.
So
Anyway.
Rick wins our quiz by just half a point, which is incredible.
I mean,
So
half a point that you gave him unfairly, so.
You can't complain, bro. I could have just stuck with your answer.
You said Aston Villa guy. You said Aston Villa guy.
I could have just stuck with your answer at the end. I let you win.
It's quite a feat of memory to remember who they played against almost now 13 years ago. So I'd give him half a point.
I deserve the half.
I knew it was an Aston Villa guy.
Of course you know now.
This is... Wow. Wow.
So Rick's won the quiz.
Can you tell me how many games he won consecutively?
More avid, more ardent Arsenal fan, as established by our quiz and by his background.
So guys, that was a great chat. But to wrap up, let's bring it back to why we're all here in the first place. And that is ThinkSports. You can check us out on all our social media. The links will be in the description. Also head over to our website, which is www.thinksports.co.in, where you can find a bunch of career-related podcasts and articles. And that'll be coming soon. We'll try to post as frequently as possible for everyone who's interested. That's it from us. We'll see you guys next time.